Welcome to Mastery of Events Academy. This is episode 1. Chill is a skill. Event mastery from the inside out, which is my nervous system approach to leading events with calm and command. Welcome, episode 1. I want to start off by saying that I was very intentional when choosing the topic for our first episode. I just knew that it had to be this. I feel that in our industry, being calm and being chill is one of the most important yet underrated skills. So I just knew that I had to start off with this topic. So without further ado, welcome to Mastery of Events Academy. Hey everybody, I am Christina Cubero and I am so glad that you're here. I've been in the industry for over 15 years now. I can truly say that I started from the ground up in New York City. That's also where I'm from. I've been an intern, an assistant, a late night, last minute chaos queen, you name it. I started my own event planning business without having zero experience purely because I was passionate about delivering experiences. I can truly say that I have produced everything from massive brand activations to corporate events to social intimate dinners and retreats. I have done it all. I've also helped launch over 20 event venues from scratch, which means that I have seen a lot. But let me be very, very, very clear. When I first started, there was no roadmap. I didn't have a mentor, and nobody was really teaching the real stuff. It felt like everything took way longer than it needed to, and I had to learn everything on my own the hard way. It took me years to figure out the systems, the mindset, and the calm that it really takes to thrive in this world. And that's why I created this space. I wanted to offer the guidance that I wish I had when I was first starting out. So no, I'm not here to throw bullshit at you or to pretend that this work is always easy because it's not. I'm here to give you the real lessons from the field, the things that I've learned myself, and the tools that you can actually use because I use them myself. I use them today. My goal here is really simple. It's to help you to grow into the kind of planner who doesn't just get through events, but leads them with calm, with clarity, and with confidence. So let's get into it. So, some honorable mentions throughout the course of my career. I have managed and produced over 2,000 plus events. I've had the honor, the privilege of working with amazing global brands. I've also launched and I've managed over 20 event spaces. For some time, I was a social planner, so I'm responsible for over 150 weddings. This list that you see here are a short list of some of the venues that I have managed and launched. This is a list of all of my previous clients and collaboration. One of the best things about being in this industry is all of the different people that you get to work with and all of the different experiences that you get to imagine. There really never is a dull day, and it doesn't matter what side of the industry you're on, be it social or be it corporate, there's just so much always going on, and you're always using your skill set in different ways, which I think is why so many people are drawn to this industry. So here's my story. I, again, am from New York. I think it's a huge part of my identity and who I am. I was raised in a Latin household where we had a lot of house parties. I grew up with a giant disco ball in my living room. My mom was like always the hostess with the mostest. So at a very young age, I was just naturally drawn to hosting and creating experiences. I had this passion for tea parties, like the best tea parties, that as I got older became a passion for hospitality. And then later on, that became a passion for creating experiences. I really feel that event planners, a lot of us, like we're born with that natural instinct to want to be the one that like brings people together and creates experiences for other. I very much think that like that's a natural instinct and it's definitely one that I had. Right out of high school, my first real job was working at the Metropolitan Museum of Art as a hostess for restaurant associates. Was pursuing a degree in hospitality management. I saw myself working in hotels or restaurants, maybe eventually owning a restaurant, but I hadn't found the event industry yet. I remember like it was yesterday, the day when I felt the magic of events for the first time. I remember walking into work at around 9 a.m. I'd walk through these like beautiful galleries, and then by 6 p.m. on my way out, those same galleries would be completely transformed. There was tables and lighting and decor and candles and just so much magic. I just remember being so like blown away by that. Like, what is this? And so that's when my mind started to awaken to the possibility of events. Do you remember when you fell in love with events? I mean, really think back. When was you start to think in your mind like, ooh, I want to be an event planner? For me, it was here. It was at the Met Museum, and to this day, it feels pretty surreal that that's where I fell in love. The fact that the same space could be reimagined time after time was mesmerizing to me. Love with the magic of events, transforming spaces. And so I decided at 21, and this is where it gets a little bit crazy, with absolutely no experience, to start an event planning business. Because I thought to myself, how hard could it be? So I went for it. And man, was it hard because I had completely the wrong idea of what an event planner truly was. I was enamored with like the end result, enamored with the magic. And when I thought of an event planner, I thought it was someone who made things look pretty, but I was wrong. I also had no formal training. I hadn't really interned anywhere. I remember just like sketching these pictures that you see here all of the time because I didn't know better, so I was just figuring it out. And last but not least, I had no team. This picture here was taken at 2 a.m. I worked on my feet for about 13 hours that day. I loaded in the elevator myself, decorated the event myself, and then luckily I had a friend of mine who helped me take everything out of the space that day. But I just didn't know what I was doing. I had the wrong idea, no formal training, no team. I just didn't know better. I also had no mentorship, no guidance, nobody doing things that I was doing. As a result of this, my events were not very magical for the first 5 years. They looked magical, but they did not feel magical. I knew that something had to change. I loved events so much, but the stress and the lack of a proper planning process was killing me. I literally always felt like this. This is like the realest depiction of how I felt all of the time. I remember thinking to myself, event after event, like, this is the last time I'm doing this. And it just always felt like I was moving from one event to the other, and I was never really focused on my process because I had no time to figure it out. Over time, I decided to make real changes and I started to focus on my system, the planning process, and eventually everything started to feel calmer. And I started to feel more confident, and my events started to improve 10 to 20 times more. But this is after 10 plus years. I also really love this picture because we finished about 2 hours before the event began, and we even had time to do a proper photo shoot. What you see here are real smiles. Once I had a proven system, everything started to change, and I started to unlock what I consider to be the biggest secret that I'm sharing here with you today. The most underrated skill an event planner could have. I promise you, it's the one skill that will set you apart if you can learn how to master it. And it's not knowing how to create beautiful timelines or spreadsheets. Mastering the art of calm during the decision making and event planning process. Let me be clear though, You wouldn't be able to tap into it if you didn't have a system that allows you to step into this mode. But so let's get into it. Beyond logistics management, beyond the spreadsheets, your energy is everything. And getting your energy right is so important. I think of event planners, I always think of this image. I think about Cinderella and the fairy godmother and the similarity that we share with the fairy godmother. We are making our clients' dreams, desires, wishes come to life. And at no point in this scene do you see what it takes to make those wishes happen. Everything just seems to like magically appear. And I think a truly great event planner does the same thing. It's how seamless can you make those realities come to life. And a lot of the times when I'm planning events, I think of this image because this is what I want to do for my clients. A truly great event planner makes those wishes come to life seamlessly. At no point in this scene is the fairy godmother stressed. At no point in this scene is she like, okay, you want the horse and carriage? Well, the horse and carriage is running 20 minutes later, he's driving me crazy. Like, no, there's zero of that. But let's face it, we're not fairy godmothers. So it's up to us to create that magic within that gets shared with everybody else. And that's truly what this is all about. Here's my step-by-step process to how I step into calm mode. Number one, I trust my system. I do not wing it. I follow a process that I've built over the past 15 years. Every call, checklist, and timeline is there for a reason. It keeps me clear and calm, especially when pressure hits. Number two, I confirm everything. Nothing is left to figure it out later. Vendors, deliveries, contacts, backup plans. I know where everything stands before I even show up because uncertainty creates anxiety and precision creates peace. Number three, I regulate my energy before I walk in. The morning of the event, I give myself 3 to 4 hours of space. Slow morning, long shower, breath work, stretching, dancing, music that calms me first and then hypes me up because I lead the room with my energy and I'm so conscious of that. I speak to other friends of mine that are in the industry and everybody has their own thing. I have a friend that meditates. I have friends that go to the gym. What I have found is that most people are like, they're calming themselves down so that they can think more clearly later on. That's really what this is all about. So my practice really, it contains me just like, okay, calm down, clear thinking, clear thinking. And then after I feel like I'm like in a place where I'm regulated, then I hype myself up because when I walk into that room, I want to bring that happy energy, that good energy, or maybe it's not happy, good energy, maybe it's in control energy because that's what my client calls for. But I want to be very intentional with how I channel that. And I think that it's a practice. It's you're not just going to walk into a room. Let's say the event is at 9 in the morning. If you're waking up at 8 in the morning, then you're literally just like rushing to get there. How can you regulate yourself? It is very important for me to give myself those 4 hours of space. Truly. I cannot stress step three enough. Number four, I train for endurance. This is very much physical work. Recently, I had a 16-hour production day and I trained for it. I adjusted how I worked out and how I slept in the days leading up to it. A 16-hour production day is no joke. And in events, on average, you will have 10 to 16-hour days easy. Planning is not just mental, it's also physical stamina as well. Step five, I pack like a pro. I don't show up to events hoping that things will work out. I show up prepared because when you're leading, your peace comes from knowing that you have what you need. So here's what I pack. I pack water, I pack meals, and I pack healthy snacks, not just whatever's there. A lot of the times at events, there's a lot of carbs, there's food that like guests are it's intentionally there for them to like indulge, but it's not necessarily food that's meant to keep you going. So I no longer trust that they're gonna have food for me to eat that's gonna keep me at like an optimal speed. So I bring my own. I also pack chargers and battery packs. I always bring my AirPods so that I could take calls and keep my hands free. A lot of the times when I'm working events, my AirPods really like save the day, right? Because I'll be running around and then I'll get like incoming call. I tap my call and I just keep going without having to like stop. When you're in event mode, you're very much in go mode. So it's preparation. A lot of being calm is being prepared. I also bring printed run of shows and event materials. Why? Because I don't just count that all of my digital devices are going to work. Sometimes the Wi-Fi goes out. I don't know. So either I print out the event material, which I know is not very eco-friendly, but it's just you're not running the risk. Also, I bring extra run of shows and material for vendors. You can't count that like people are as prepared as you. So, example, if there's one person that needs to have like a clear run of show, it might be like an AV person or like a DJ or like the venue. So it's happened to me so many times that I get there and I'm being asked all these questions and I'm like, I emailed you people this information. And it's information that they need to have handy. So that they, I don't count on them having actually printed the material. I bring the printed material myself and I'm like, all right, here you go, AV person, because if you miss these cues, we all miss the cues. So very, very, and I also pack comfortable shoes and back of flats. If you're working like an extremely long day, you gotta pack for it, right? The beginning of your day, comfortable shoes, cool. Maybe you might want to wear some heels when the event is actually going on so that like you're also you feel comfortable around guests, but then you're gonna want to bring back of flats when you still want to be around guests, but you know, you don't want your feet to be hurting. And then for breakdown, you'll put your comfortable shoes back on so you can help clean everything up. And then I also pack my full production kit. I don't count, I just don't take chances. I bring Sharpies, tape, zip ties, pens, scissors, safety pins, wipes. Everybody's production kit looks different, but at a high level, this is what I pack. Step 6 to being calm is that I fuel my body. I don't wait until I crash to think about food anymore. I fuel my body before I need it. Here's what that looks like. So I have a solid breakfast in the morning that's part of my 3 to 4 hour routine with protein and healthy carbs. I also take supplements for focus and calm. The night before, I'll have magnesium. After breakfast, I'll have B complex and rhodolia. And then I also have my water bottle all day long. I just hydration, hydration, hydration. A lot of the times people forget to hydrate, but honestly, it's all about treating food like fuel. And then I also pack snacks that actually keep me going, like nuts, bars, fruit, food with substance. I eat in a way that supports the pace that I'm moving at. 7, I use ChatGPT as my planning partner. I use ChatGPT to clear mental space and stay focused. It helps me prepare without burning out. I use it to audit timelines, double check budgets and invoices. It helps me map out backup plans, generate packing lists, draft vendor emails, build day of meal plans for myself, create grounding rituals. It doesn't replace my work, it supports it. So this frees me up mentally to lead from a place of calm. Step 8 is that I plan for my decompression. After the event, I don't rush back into the world. I hydrate, I rest, I unplug, and then I reflect because this work takes energy and I have to protect mine. As event planners, it's so important that we protect our energy. Recovery is a part of the job. It's how we stay in this for the long run. You cannot sustain calm if you never refill yourself. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This is the end of episode 1. This is what works for me. I think that if you take anything away from this episode is that being calm is not just something that you get to turn on and turn off. You have to prepare for it. Everybody's rituals look different, and I think as you develop your career and yourself, you'll develop your own ritual, your own way of doing things. I just want you to be conscious that being calm, it is such a superpower, but it takes time to figure it out. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Every Thursday at 8 p.m., I will be dropping the link to our free webinar. You can join me live every Thursday, and I will be touching on different topics and then later uploading it here on YouTube. The beauty of coming to our live webinars is that you can ask questions and you can meet other planners. In addition to the webinars, we are also launching our From Zero Experience to Event Planner Challenge, which is a 21-day challenge where we're going to be teaching you everything. If you have no experience, there's no problem. All you need is a passion for events, and I've got you. I'm going to be sharing all of my systems, my tools, templates that you can actually use and make your own. Kicks off July 1st. It's only $4.97. You'll get 21 days of training, pricing, and quote templates. We'll also put you into a WhatsApp group where you'll meet other participants. You're going to be able to access our event planning workbook and a ton of downloadable resources. You'll get a vendor relationship and negotiation guide, which is going to be really helpful. If you like what you've seen today, we ask that you subscribe and follow for more. Thank you so much. See you on episode 2.